Hi friends, welcome to day 3 of our series, Making a Junk Journal Using Dollar Tree Supplies. I'm Ingrid Carlsen and this is Cara Tootie, and today we are making this adorable journal. And if you're not subscribed, I would love it if you join us now and click the bell so you get notified anytime a new video comes out. Welcome to day 3 of our series, Making a Junk Journal from Dollar Tree items. So day 1 was going over all of the supplies. Day 2 was coffee dyeing, and now we're going to actually build the base of the journal. So I'm going to start by taking 4 regular size or the smaller size envelopes, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open them. Some of my envelopes stuck while I was coffee dyeing, so these are good. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this edge a straight edge. So if you want to be precise, then you can get a pencil or a pen and then a ruler. I usually am not that precise, and because I'll probably do this and it'll still be off, but I'm just showing you guys how I would do this. And again, anything that we cut off, keep, because you could use it. I'm just going to go in and start cutting on the edge here. It does not need to be perfect, and it's just enough to get me to be able to cut this straight across. And then on this side, you could do it the same way we just did it, or the way I just did it. And if you want to, you can rip this. Okay, and I'm going to put these to the side. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm just going to eyeball it and not measure it out. So whichever way you want to do it, it's totally fine. And I actually think that I like the look of this a little better. I'm going to even this out. I think I've said this before, but if you're new, when I was little and I'd watch Sesame Street, and on Sesame Street there was an episode where Cookie Monster, I think it was Cookie Monster. No, maybe it was not Cookie Monster. It was Ernie. And he wasn't supposed to eat a cookie, or he was trying not to eat the whole cookie. And it was a vanilla wafer. And he was eating like all around so that it was still a whole circle. And then this side would be uneven. So then he'd chew off this side, and then this side would be uneven. So he'd chew off this side. Eventually he ate the whole thing, and that's kind of what I do sometimes. When I'm eyeballing and cutting, I take extra off because I overestimated or underestimated, and then it's not even. But if you are new here, then I don't really care that much about evenness, especially on journals. More so when, and look, that's not 100% even either. More so when I'm filming, it's a little more apt of myself to try to get it even, because it is on camera and I can see the reflection. See, that's why I don't do that. But in my normal everyday creating, I don't worry that much. Oops, I went a little too far, but that's okay. Okay, so now we have our 4 envelopes, and actually I think on one of them I did not need to cut, but that's okay. We'll go with it anyways. So the first thing I'm going to do is start lining these. I'm going to look to see if there's one that I'd want in the front. I think they're all kind of the same to me, so I'm just going to pick this one. And I'm just going to line these up so that the flap is going to hold these 2 pages together. And you're not going to do anything yet. I'm just putting them together quickly. This one, I just want to make sure that I have everything in place before we start gluing. Okay, and then this one is going to go, oh, and perfect, because this one's like, I cut it wonky. So it's perfect because I'm actually going to cut this one down. And so what I'm going to do, let me decide what edge works better. So I think I did it like this. And I think I want it to be, I think I want to remove about 1/4 of an inch here. I'll measure it for you guys. Or no, I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to line it. Because this ruler that I have, it's from Daiso, and it's centimeters and millimeters. No, actually, well, maybe it is centimeters and millimeters, but I don't understand why this says this here, and this is here, and then this is here. If this is the centimeters and this is the millimeters, I don't know. So I'm not giving any measurements, but it doesn't matter as long as it's about 1/4 of an inch. I am just going to even that out a little bit. And what I'm going to be doing is this flap, or this is going to be a flap, and I'm just eyeballing how much. So if I had to guess, this is about 1.5 inches that I folded over. And I want that edge to line up with the envelope. And so you're going to see there's going to be a gap right here. Okay. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing. So I'm going to start with the 2 envelopes that are going to be on the left. Oh, actually, we're going to cut these all down. So I'm just going to put them together, and I'm going to cut them down. On this one, I will go ahead and give you measurements for, if I can find a ruler. Okay, if my SIRI is correct, then 12.75 centimeters are 5 inches. So you're going to cut yours at 5 inches. I am just going to go to 13 and I'm just going to mark it. I'm not that concerned. This does not have to be perfect. The reason I'm marking it is, or the reason we're cutting them down is, this is my little prototype, and I like the size of this better than the longer size. Sometimes for me, the longer size is a little hard to decorate. And so I'm just going to cut it down. And I'm going to do all of them the same. Okay, we're going to keep these pieces. Now we can glue. And you're going to see it kind of opens stuff up, and it's okay. So this first envelope, you're going to have it where your fold is going to be on your left side and your flap is on your right side. And then this one's the opposite, where your flap is on your left side. And I'm going to line up the edges. Okay, and I'm going to grab my glue. So I'm just going to glue the flap part. It's really cold today, so this glue might we're going to improvise here. We're back in kindergarten playing with glue with our fingers. This is actually a better method of applying glue as well, either with a brush or with your fingers, because then you are getting an even amount throughout. Okay. The great thing about working with a wet glue is that you have a little more time. Ah, this is so sticky. Try to, Okay, my edges came out a little wonky, so I'll just cut them later. And then you're going to take this flap and we're going to go ahead and enforce it here. You could just cut it off, but I feel like it gives the structure more stability. And I overshot that by a lot. Okay, I'm going to try to, oh, there's no removing that. So we're going to just redo the fold. Okay, now on this one we're just taking the flap in the same direction that that one was going. So on your left side, and I'm going to just butt it here and fold it over. This one's going to be the easiest to do because I can just lay it flat. I've spoken about this on other videos, but the success of your glue, for me, what I have found is that mostly it is dependent on the papers having a good seal. And so we still do have to do one more flap, but I'm just going to take something that's like a blunt end, and I'm just going to burnish. Just be careful, you know, you are working with paper, and especially paper that you have already weakened the fibers of by coffee dyeing. So this is our base, and now we're going to take this piece, and this piece, we're going to line it against this edge. So what I'm gonna actually flip it so that my two straight edges are together. And I want to, what do we say? You know, probably have about an inch or so at the bottom. And then I'm just gonna take my ruler, line it up here to help me fold. And hopefully it's even. Nope. I saw it not even, but I went ahead and pulled it anyways. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. So I'm just going to stick some glue here. And then this also ensures that when we are folding, because we cut that envelope, when we shut it, there's room, and it's not, if we were to have this envelope all the way here, then when we close it, it's going to interfere in closing, and especially when we start adding things to the journal. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry up, and then we will fold this and add our signatures. I almost forgot, before we let this dry, I'm going to go ahead and seal up and put glue on this edge here. I'm going to leave this one open, and then I'm going to put glue at the bottom of this edge so that it creates a pocket, and then that way I'm going to let it all dry and I'll be back. Okay, everything is pretty dry now, and I'm going to, so if you see this, when it closes, this is kind of bulky, and so I'm going to add a gusset to this side so that I have more space to, and I'm actually going to reinforce this and add a signature. So I'm going to, from the edge of the envelope, which is right here, I'm going to measure over about 1/2 inch, okay? And I'm using my straight edge or ruler. I'm going to go over, and I'm just pressing on this side to make a good seam. Okay, I want to make sure I'm lining it up there, and then I'm going to press it out. And so now you're going to have this little seam right here, or this little edge right here. See that? And that's where one of our signatures will go. So at this part, you can reinforce this if you want. You can leave it floppy if you want. So I think what I'm going to do, though, is I might take some paper that I have laying around, and I might go ahead and just reinforce it. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. One of the pieces that I coffee dyed was a note card, and so I'm just going to take the note card and I'm going to measure it out. I wanted to see if I could see. It's kind of hard with these lines to measure it, so I'm going to go here. I think it's right there. Okay, we're going to try this. We can always cut it down. I'm not too concerned about it. And as long as it's a little smaller, it works. If it was bigger, then you'd have to cut it down. Oh, that fits actually perfectly. So I apologize for using this glue, but because I'm filming the video and I can't get the other one to dispense out of the nib, then I wanted to just use that. So now that reinforces it enough to where this has some structure, but it's not going to be super hard. Now, if you want it more hard, then you can continue to build it up using just paper. You can also use any kind of cardboard or a cereal box or anything along those lines. So, but I think we're good. Make sure this edge gets glued. Okay. And now we are going to take our papers. I'm going to go ahead and take this one since I already have it here and fold it over. And actually that is the perfect size for my, okay. So this is going to be a little booklet that I'm going to add right here, a signature. So a signature is just the pages when they're folded together and made into like a little booklet. And those we're going to attach to the spine. I like when my papers come over the edge. If you don't like that, then I would cut this down to the edge here. Actually, I think I am going to do that because this one's a thicker paper. I'm just going to use that edge and cut it. And then I'm going to have other papers, like let's say the deli paper, that's a little bit of a thinner paper, come off the edge. But that way this gives me also a template. I'm going to take these papers. And the easiest way that I think it works is just to use the template at the bottom. And then here, you have a couple of options. You can just cut that off, or if this wasn't ripped, you could fold it in like this so that it has a little flap. Because it is ripped, I'm going to just cut that little piece off. I love papers with edges like this, so I think I'm going to use this spot, or having the cuts or the whatever these little things are, these frayed edges on the side. So I know I'm going to I want it to be a little smaller than that. And then that one. So that way, the reason that I'm putting this one after this one is so that you can see it. So it's got like a staggering effect. I'm going to definitely add a book page. So now at this point, you can choose to add more of an edge or less of an edge. I think something like this would be cute. And on this one, I do think I'm going to have it folded in. So I'm going to take some of this off and then fold this over. And I'm going to see, because this is larger than these, I'm going to see what it would look like if I did that. And I'm good with that, with it hanging off the edge, especially because you can see here, this is all like deckled and torn and weathered. And so I think that adds a lot of interest. I think that's enough. So I actually added 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so that's going to give me 16 sides total. We are not going to put the binding together yet, although it is going to be no sew. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and paper clip it together so that when I'm working with it, I can move it in and out. But this gives you a little view of your little journal, and then we will add more to it as we get closer to it. I think that this would be fun if we folded on this edge because it already had like a natural fold there. And if we did that, we're adding just a tiny little gusset here. So I just found a piece of a note card. Let's see if that's... Okay, so my gusset is going to be right here. And I don't know why I called that a gusset. We'll figure out the nozzle situation. You guys, let me know in the comments if I said it right or wrong. But my other spine. And again, I apologize for using this glue. And then use the proper glue. The Dollar Tree one. I went a little over here, but I can just cut that piece off. Actually, I'm going to leave it. I think it's cute. So now we have another gusset here. And if you want, you can add more pages here. We will not, because I just keep adding more. But this is your... Actually, let's add some. Okay, let's add just a couple. So... And I have to remind myself, Ingrid, a couple means a couple. So I'm going to do maybe just like 2 pages. And I think it's a little too... I really like that edge though, so I'm going to just take some off of that end and then refold it. I have... That's something that I did not mention in my list of items from Dollar Tree was book pages, but definitely that's something that you can look out for. I'll give you a couple of examples. I just found this book, and so this one's really pretty because it has these really pretty little, I guess they're little like fireflies they're supposed to be. And then I also have this book here, and this, I've used this before, and it's solely, and I got them both at Dollar Tree, and they're for using in journals. If you already have books on hand, then use those. And then also just putting it out there, be mindful of the content that is on your books. So sometimes you're going to have to read through them a little bit to see if, you know, there's appropriate words. And you don't have to, it doesn't matter. It's especially for me, I'm on camera and I don't want there to be negative language if possible. And I also just don't want negative language. So, so this is going to go, I'm just paper clipping it here so that when we start working on it, then we can take it out, work on it, and then bind it in. So now we've just constructed a little mini journal. It is so cute. Please, if you think this is cute, leave a thumbs up down below. This is cuter than I even ever thought. I love working with the size, and I can't wait. I think this is going to be adorable. So make sure that if you're not subscribed, you subscribe right now. Go ahead. I'll pause. Hit the bell too right underneath the description so that you can get notified anytime any video is coming up. I will have the playlist listed down below in the description as well so that you can save the playlist and then you can watch it, you know, whenever you want, whenever you have the time, and then you have it saved so you can do this project more than one time. So I thank you so much for being here. I thank you for, honestly, I think about it all the time, like, wow, there's people that want to hear what I have to say. And that is such a blessing. I can't even, it's such a blessing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously. I'm so grateful. I'm so, so very grateful for each and every one of you. Seriously, thank you so much. Thank you to my patrons for all of your support and your love. And here, hold on. This is how. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.